Welcome back, sports fans. Happy Saturday. It is August 24th, and we have a big 12-game slate tonight for MLB. Before I get into the plays, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below so you get alerts on when I drop new content. Throw a like on the video. That's always appreciated if it helps you out. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the DFS Picks. One more thing before I get into the picks. I was thinking about going to a different format this week, in the middle of the week, for the smaller slates and going game by game rather than specific picks. So if you have any opinions on that, if you want me to switch that up just to give it a try, just hit me up in the comments and let me know. Give me some feedback. But let's get into the slate, starting with pitching. So only 3 guys, 10K and above. Starts at the top with Clevenger. Love Clevenger, especially in this matchup against KC in Cleveland. Clevenger pitching at home. He's been the model of consistency outside of that game against Boston. But a lot of 30-plus DK point games. He is priced up at 11.8, and now that's kind of the hindrance in playing him tonight. Is there are some more expensive stacks that I could see being very profitable tonight, and I'll get into those later. But that would make it hard to get an 11.8 pitcher rostered, combined with I don't really see any of the lower priced value pitchers being very good tonight. So in short, love Clevenger. Just don't know if we can get up to him on this slate. So we'll keep going down the line. Bumgarner in a decent spot, also priced up at 10.4. He has been kind of a little up and down, but overall pretty good, but not for that 10.4 price tag. That's going to kind of keep me away from him today. Wheeler has had 2 really bad outings against Atlanta so far this year. Just a couple weeks ago, he made it 5 innings, but he gave up 12 hits, 2 walks, only 2 Ks, 5 earned. And then the game before, back in June, not quite as bad, but still not a good outing. So I'm going to stay away from Wheeler there. Going down the line, we see Bassett. Bassett not in a bad spot right there. Going against San Francisco in Oakland in a pitcher's park. I like that. I could just see some of the guys in the 8K, 9K range being a little bit better, but definitely in play. The guy that I'm going to start with is going to be Kyle Gibson. Kind of rough start for the last 3 games, but he's in a spot against Detroit where he could really thrive. We saw Berrios. I talked about Berrios yesterday. He had a little bit of a rough night. He was pitching great, and we were getting the Detroit that we've kind of come accustomed to. And then there was a grand slam that he gave up to Ronnie Rodriguez, I think in the 5th, which completely derailed his night. Without that, he has a solid outing, and he gets 20, 25 DK points. So I mean, that stuff sometimes happens. But I see Kyle Gibson having the kind of night that Berrios was having until that came about. So I'm going to start with him at 9K. And I don't really have an SP2 at this moment that I'm locked in on. There are a few guys going down the line. Miley is still a little too expensive. Hudson is a decent matchup. He's had a couple good games. I like him. Flaherty for the Cardinals yesterday just balled out against a poor hitting Colorado team. It's outside of Coors Field, so you don't really have to be afraid of them. So definitely in play. Dakota Hudson definitely in play in this one. Alex Wood in play against a bad Pittsburgh squad. Colby Allard in play again. The one thing that you have to kind of worry about is to look at his game log. First 2 games, pretty solid. He's got priced up to 9.6 in his last outing, and he didn't do well against the Angels. So he's priced back down to 78. Probably pretty appropriate for where he should be. But the one thing about this matchup, White Sox so far this year, obviously a bad offensive team, but they've really come alive in the last week and a half. Injuries have come about. They got some new players in the lineup, so that's kind of the one hindrance. They went off. I forget how many runs they scored last night, but they went off last night 8, 9, 10 runs, something like that, against Texas. So, but Allard definitely in play, and you got Nova. Nova, not a great pitcher, but I would say he's in play for GPPs. He's had a good string of games his last 5, 6 outings outside of the last one in Minnesota. Some pretty solid outings, a lot better than he had in the beginning of the year. So, against a Texas squad that doesn't really hit very well, he's definitely in play, mainly in tournaments though. But as you look down the line, Stuart Peters means as you get lower and lower, there's not really anyone that stands out to me as far as value on the lower end. You do have Edwin Jackson, and we're going to get to him later. He has had 3 starts back for the Tigers since coming back from his he injured and then switching teams. A good, really surprising start against Kansas City. The first one, not as good against Seattle, and then again, not nearly as good in Houston, where he gave up 5 runs, 4 earned, 11 base runners. Just he did have 6 Ks though, but I guess he would be in play maybe for tournaments. That's a big maybe. But if you see him pitching more towards the first 2 games that he came back, as he would definitely be in play. So, but nothing else going down to the bottom of the list for pitchers. So we'll go to just quick spiel about the stacks today. We'll go right back to Edwin Jackson. I think the downward trajectory that he's been on, I think that's who he is. He's just not a very good pitcher right now in his career. The games that he had, the game that he had against Houston is probably somewhere around where he is, maybe on the higher end of where he really is going forward. And against a good hitting team like the Twins, I'll take the Twins every time. So I would be stacking the Twins, and there are a lot of 1 through 9 really. You could stack from the top to the bottom. You had Sano that had 2 home runs last night. He is hitting 5th. Started off with Kepler at the top, going down Polanco, Cruz. Cruz isn't as hot as he was, but he just mashes the ball. Had an RBI double yesterday, but up and down the lineup, really good. Next stack to get into, we're going to go down, I'm sorry. We're going to go down to Cleveland. So playing against Glenn Sparkman. Again, not a very good pitcher. And Cleveland has been struggling just a little bit since they were going off for a good 2-week span. But Lindor, Santana, Ramirez, you got value at the bottom of the lineup with Kipnis at 3.9K, Naquin at 3.6K, Perez at the bottom batting 9th at 3.7K. All those guys definitely in play. And one more stack to go back to, and I've talked about in the last 2 days, is the Rays. They're playing against John Means. Let's find Means over here. So I'd be mashing on the righties on the Rays. So go over here. Not the worst pitcher on this Orioles staff, but definitely does give up home runs. So we're looking up and down the lineup. You got Duffy at the top again. Hasn't had a great series, but okay. But you go down Denard. I mentioned him yesterday in the video. He's slated to play again. He was out yesterday, but he's slated to bat 5th. If he's playing, I'd be on him. Aguilar had 2 monster doubles that could have easily been home runs. Adames hit a home run 2 nights ago. You got Brousseau and Heredia also had decent nights last night. At the bottom for value at 3.7 and 3.3. So all up and down the lineup on the right-handed side, and even Austin Meadows, he's homered 2 nights in a row, and he doesn't do He does pretty well against lefties, so I definitely in play in my player pool. So that's it for stacks. We'll go over to the specific plays, and we'll start with a one-off at the shortstop position. So we'll look at J.P. Crawford at only 3.8K. Going up against Font is going to be the opener. And then Stewart will come on for him. Stewart, I'm more on as far as the matchup. But Font, again, not great against lefties. Neither of them are. But we'll look at Stewart's numbers. And he's been only 5 starts. But look at those 3 homers in the last game in only, how long? He picked 5 1/3. So 5 homers in the season in five games. They're playing in Seattle. I like where this is going for Crawford. And Crawford himself, he's been hot. Look at his game log. That game last night, that's an error. He didn't get 0 fantasy points. He had a home run, a walk, 2 runs scored, RBI. I think he's finished with 20, 2014, 16, 18, 20, 22? 22 points last night. He's just been playing really well. So 22, 18, 9, 14. Been playing really well too. So I like the spot that he's in right there. We'll go to, I'd mentioned Denard, and I'd plug him in. And the good thing about him, he's, like I said yesterday, he's flexible. He could go first base or catcher. So plug him in right there. We'll go to outfield. And you could go anywhere up and down this Minnesota squad to Cano or Cruz Sano or Cruz. But I would take a chance on Kepler, especially in tournaments. So the game log from yesterday, it's going to be a little bit deceiving. He only got 2 fantasy points. He hit 2 just rockets that just landed about a foot short of being a homer. So he has had multi-home run games so far this year. Definitely could have been one last night. He's going to be in again another good matchup against Edwin Jackson. So I like him there, and we'll get one more, get an extra bat out, one on the Cleveland side, and maybe a couple values. So we'll go, if you don't want to go Crawford, you have some extra cash, you can always pay up for Lindor, he's gone 7 of 13 against Sparkman, 2 homers. I'm not a big BVP person, but it just kind of adds to the positivity of this matchup, going up against Sparkman at home. He's hitting really well. I had the numbers kind of pulled up. Pull up the numbers on how Lindor is hitting. Lindor, against righties, he's hitting 242 is his ISO, 385 WOBA. K rate's low. It's just a really good spot. Sparkman against lefties is giving up 396 WOBA and 295 ISO. So you want the lefties and the switch hitters in this matchup, love them. So if you're looking at, and I said I was going to get some value. So if you're looking at the bottom of the lineup for Cleveland, lots of value here too. So you got, I'll get back to the other page over here. So you got Kipnis at 3.9, Naquin at 3.6, and Roberto Perez at the bottom of the lineup is a righty, but does hit righties very well at a good clip. He's at 3.7. So a lot of value at the bottom of the lineup. Now, if you are able to swing all that value together, pay down and let's say you go, instead of Lindor, you go back to Crawford. You have Kepler in there. You can put Denard at first base, Perez catching. Let's see what it would look like with Clevenger in there. So Clevenger had that kind of breaks it up, but you could go off of Kepler and go with one of the some more of the the value off of Tampa Bay or Cleveland at the bottom of their lineups. And you might be able to fit that in. That is tight though. So yeah, that's why I say it'll be hard to fit Clevenger in with a good stack, even with the amount of value that's on this slate. So finding a pitcher at the lower end of the pitching pool is kind of what I'm looking at today. But that's what I got for you guys today. If you haven't already, like I said at the beginning of the video, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try and get, if not every day, every other day, some content out there, some picks, some knowledge. And if you like the content, please hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. And then follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the DFS Picks. I do lineups on a nightly basis. Premium content, full lineup. It's been killing recently. Got another W. It's 4-1 this week. I'm hoping to go 6-1, winning out through the weekend. But if you want that full lineup, shoot me a message on Instagram or Twitter. Or make a comment down below. It's only $10 a week or $30 a month, and you recoup that really quick. So thanks again, guys, and good luck tonight.